Appreciate it. Eric Perot, I'm a channel manager with Access Point. I actually live in Daytona Beach. I know a large chunk of you in the room, 16 years with Windstream, 18 months with Earthlink, and now I'm like in my 5th or 6th month here. So anybody that I haven't met, please let's say hi before I leave. I actually have an event in Daytona Beach at 6 o'clock tonight, so I do need to head north after. So Access Point, we have been in business for 20 years, and actually I was telling Preston Carpenter, my longtime friend, this is my 20th year, going back to AT&T or Bell South Mobility, which became Singular, New South, New Vox. I've known Doug for years as well, so it's funny who you run into through the years doing this. So we've been in business for 20 years. This is our 20th year right now. We have a very large product portfolio. I think a lot of the carriers do. We have it. Some of you sell certain things with us that I'll highlight. Some of you don't sell some certain things, which I'll highlight. And the PowerPoint will be available if you guys want it, and or calls, questions, etc. Joyce Sherlock is here as well. She is our cloud sales manager. Anything we sell, hosted, wireless WAN, call center, Vigilant, our managed services product, she will be involved in from quote process to implementation. So she is a good one to know as well. And then our third person is Angie Wade. She is fairly new to us. She's actually down this way. She'll be doing some direct sales as well as some quoting and stuff with us. These girls are phenomenal. So if you don't know them, get to know them, please. Guys, we do it all. A lot of people use us for strictly POTS lines. Thank you. Our largest customers to date are POTS line customers. We had a December sale, which was $110,000 in POTS lines. I am working on one right now that is 4,000 POTS lines. From AT&T to Verizon to CenturyLink, we can do all of those areas for POTS lines. That is probably what we're best known for. Couple other things I'll highlight. Cable, we have 46 different cable providers in our portfolio, from the Spectrums and Comcast that we can partner with to several others nationwide. Benefit to us, again, will be the single billing platform. So if your customer wants one bill for all of their services and all of their footprints, that is where we can provide a benefit to them. Other thing that we can do as well as hosted voice. I'm partnering with a lot of the hosted voice providers, not selling our hosted voice, but partnering with them to say, look, you can provide your hosted voice. I will not talk about that. And we can do our cable or our wireless WAN device. I actually have set up there on the desk our Cradlepoint wireless failover device with my actual hosted phone. If you would like to see it, touch it, play with it, let me know. You guys are more than welcome to do that. That is probably the biggest selling point I'm doing right now is the wireless WAN. I'll touch on that in a little bit. Right now. We use Cradlepoint. We have two different flavors that we're most commonly using. The one I have is a 4-port. It has Wi-Fi capability. The other one does not have wireless or Wi-Fi capability. It's a monthly rental, and then you, similar to your cell phone plan, you can purchase by meg or gig. Another benefit too is if you have a lot of multi-site locations, you can put a device at each site, get one data plan, and you can pull the minutes. So if your primary, secondary internet source goes down, I travel with that thing everywhere. If my internet provider at my house, that company shall be kept nameless. If they are out of service, I plug in that device, let it boot up, plug in my phone, hook in my tablet, I am set to go. Average is a 10x2. At my house in Daytona Beach, I'm at about 15x8. So it is a great backup for your customers that have primary, secondary, or even a primary source and need something for backup or failover. That is a phenomenal piece of equipment and something that we sell every day. Any questions thus far? There'll be some more Q&A at the end too, but don't be shy. Here's some other, I'm not a techie or diagram guy, so these are some diagrams that our folks put together, but the failover, again, is key. Business continuity, redundancy. Everybody wants 100% uptime, and this will be one of the ways that we can do that. So Earthlink in here, you have a Ethernet over fiber primary, cable backup, and you need something in case one or both go down. Again, this is the way that we can do that. Vigilant. This is a fairly new product for us. It's our wireless, or our managed services. We actually, I think Joyce is trying to get her demo up for that. This is where we can, if we install the circuit with a usable IP, we can actually manage that circuit for you. We can send you an alert that we think something is wrong or going on with that circuit, or we can actually proactively open a trouble ticket with that underlying provider. We are trying to put this on every one of the circuits. If we are providing the circuit, it is a very low monthly cost, and why not? You should have this with every one, something to check your service, something to proactively monitor it. There are some other carriers that are doing this as well, but this is a phenomenal tool that we should really have on every circuit that we provide. And again, Joyce has the demo up. We can, or you guys can go look at that if you'd like. Our NOC, everything that we do is based out of Raleigh or Cary, North Carolina. 24/7 customer care, live call center, people physically in Raleigh. Nothing is done overseas. We also do a lot of the trouble reporting through customer service at accesspointinc.com. If you don't hear anything back in 30 minutes as to a ticket number, then you should be calling me and or an escalation list that I can provide you as well to make sure that that's done. Again, 24/7 customer care. Traditional pots, I almost took this out, but again, this is probably one of our bread and butters. Anything from one POTS line. I get a call every day. Can you do one POTS line? I can do one POTS line. You want one POTS line? I will gladly give you one POTS line. It's a lot. It's work, but you know what? It's revenue.
I'm just curious, what's the cost?
Depends. Do you want AT&T, Verizon, CenturyLink, feature, non-feature?
Say AT&T, like fire alarm.
The line rate without features, not including your regulatory fees, is like $37.50.
Not including regular. So
Correct. If you don't need long distance calling on there, we can omit the Pixie charge, saves you a couple bucks there. Then it's your FCC tax. So I think it's 43, 45. So it's way better than AT&T's rate. Put it that way. So I don't like to discuss compensation spiff. Dan's team sends a great email monthly with all the spiff stuff. So talk to your channel manager or Dan on anything like that. I never touch that. So
we pass through all the spiffs.
correct, right. So currently Access Point is paying $30 per line on a 3-year term spiff. That is for any new line and any ported line. So whether it be 1 or 100, you're going to get that spiff on a 3-year term. 2-year, I believe, is 20. 1 year, I believe, is 10. Again, Dan's email will talk about that. We are BroadSoft hosted voice provider. Again, my Polycom is set up there with a USB camera. I hate the camera, but it is a huge selling feature. I also have on my tablet and on my cell phone the UC1 app. Phenomenal tool where you can do some video calling. You can pull calls from your phone, from one phone to the other, from your tablet to your phone. Not coming from a real hosted voice provider previous to here, I'm still amazed at the tools that we have available out there. Call center as well. Again, Joyce is involved with all of the hosted stuff. I rely on her daily, multiple times a day for stuff like that. So if we need to get a call, demo, anything like that down here, she would be the one to assist us with that. Geo-redundancy, again, I think this is huge. We have 2 hot sites, LA and New York. We don't maintain our BroadSofts. BroadSoft maintains our BroadSofts. We had an issue years ago where we had some hiccups, and this is before I got here, and we had some issues with our hosted network. Now that we have the 2 hot sites and BroadSoft maintains that, we do not have hiccups. We do not have the hiccups that we used to have. So I think that is a huge value add for us, is that it is not our switch techs touching this stuff, it is actually BroadSoft touching the stuff. So I think that helps us with some credibility there. Everybody likes logos. Some of our customers here, actually Buffalo Wild Wings, and I like to touch on that one. We don't have a lot of services in Buffalo Wild Wings. However, the one service that we have in every Buffalo Wild Wings is one of those Cradlepoint devices. One of the issues that they had years ago, fantasy football draft. They had their internet go down. How can you draft your fantasy football at Buffalo Wild Wings without internet? They have no issues with that anymore. So it's the truth, right?
It'd be pretty hard.
Right, exactly. So again, some of the logos, there's a few more that are here. There are a few more that we are in the process of adding to this through some recent sales, but we're waiting for all those to be fully implemented before we do that. A little bit about sales team. I know I talked to a couple of you. If you don't know Robert Buffa, all right, let me rephrase this. Who doesn't know Robert Buffa? I think he's 30 years, I think is what he told me in Las Vegas. He's been doing this 30 years. I've always run into him through the years. I've never been able to work for him, and in 5 months, I can honestly tell you, probably one of the best support guys I've ever worked for. He leaves me alone, but anytime I call him, he's literally does what I need to do to help. Great guy. I cover all of Florida, so if you are physically in Florida, you probably are working or assigned to me. If one I know works with Kimberly Ross out of Raleigh, keep working with Kimberly. She's been here, I think, 18 years. If you work with another channel manager because your organization is out of Atlanta, that's probably Jared or whatnot, let me know. If you don't know who it is, I can certainly help get you in touch with that person. So, service delivery, one of the things I think when I started in telecom, I was a sales support person. I was a quote desk for agents and major accounts at FDN. That's how I got to meet Dan years ago. I was doing quotes for all his guys and then became a channel manager. I sit down with service delivery because I want to make sure that if we place an order, we have an idea of what the process is. And that's one of the things that I've started doing here is I've got a trip planned to Raleigh in the next couple of weeks to sit down with service delivery, order entry, customer care. I want to see what goes on in their day. Because when I'm having a conversation with you and a potential customer, we got to make sure that the process is correctly explained. I think our service delivery does a decent job here. We're in the process of making a few tweaks and changes. Multi-location orders are kind of separated by a couple of different project managers. Sends out spreadsheets or weekly calls. We want to do that to one project manager per account, so it's not kind of a hodgepodge of locations. So certain things like that are in the process of being changed. Anything you guys have issue-wise, some of you have come to me, please continue to do that so we can get it escalated accordingly. A little bit more on the service delivery team. Again, if you guys want this PowerPoint, I'll be more than welcome to send it out. Project management, again, usually it's 10 locations is the threshold. I don't see one of the people here I'm working on. It's like 17 sites, 1 or 2 POTS lines per. We still are project managing that. Separating cities and states by certain days or weeks so that their IT people can make sure to get there in time. If you feel like you have an account that's even less than 10 sites that you'd like to get it project managed, just let me know. We can certainly accommodate stuff like that. Weekly calls, spreadsheets, anything like that, whatever makes you and your customer feel better, we can certainly do that. Again, major accounts team. Right now, I think the threshold, and correct me if I'm wrong, is 10,000. We do have some unders, but the MARs are great because any adds, moves, changes. If that account is assigned to MAR and they're adding locations, not only will the MAR place the order, but there's no issue with it being tagged to your guys' ID and me, so we are compensated as we should be. But they also engage with the spreadsheet tracking and order entry stuff with us, so it is an additional team member that we have to our to use for us. Customer service. Look, I said it jokingly to Preston earlier. Most carriers say, or most customers will say, customer service is horrible. Whether they call in and get a live person, the email. I like the email. There's at least one, if not two people every day monitoring that email address. And I've had the issue with Mr. Jeff McDonald in the back. Sorry to point you out, sir, but he sent an email to customer care and it was 45 minutes and he said, have you seen a trouble ticket number on this? I said, no. I made one call to level 1 repair. Not only was the ticket open, but it had already started the escalation process. So they really slap the hands of the people that don't monitor that email address regularly. So if you're opening a ticket with CS tickets or whatever the email address is, copy me. I don't care. If I don't see something back in an hour, or you don't get an email back that says we've received your request, then something must be up with that address. Forward it to me and I'll take it from there. I'll help you out. Again, our NOC, everything is in Raleigh, North Carolina. They have the nice big monitors, monitoring circuits with the Vigilant portal up, pinging these things. You'll see greens and yellows and reds. It's like a color of the rainbow. Who tried the unicorn Starbucks drink yesterday? So before I left, I had to make sure I got my wife one because she had been talking about it for weeks. So it's sweet and sour. I just had to bring it up, but the colors of the rainbow. Our online account management tool, the My Access Point, go to accesspoint.com. You log in your account. Your bills are there. You can see statuses of your existing orders, your trouble tickets. You can see notes in there. It is a great tool. You can export into Excel or something like that. There's some changes that they're going to make to this too, like, and I don't know if it's on here yet, chatting with the customer care rep is one thing I heard that was going to be implemented soon. So you can get in your portal, you can click on your trouble ticket and a box will pop up and say, do you have a question or something I can help you with in your trouble ticket? So things like that. And you guys as partners, one thing I'm in the process of doing is getting sub-agent IDs for everybody. And as your accounts get put on to Access Point with your sub-agent ID, you're going to be able to get access to all of your customers so you can see all of their tickets, all of their existing orders. If that's something you want, we can certainly get that set up for you. Why our customers stay with us? If Buffo were sitting up here, he'd say probably it was because of him. But I right. That's why I didn't like he's sick with the flu. But, I think in 20 years of doing this, taking care of your customer is key. And I know you guys know this. But I will take calls on a Saturday and Sunday, and I have. I will call customer care for you guys on a Saturday and Sunday, because I have. I'm passionate about your guys' organization because I've known a lot of you guys for 20 years. So, look, if I'm not doing a good job for you guys, call and tell me. I want you guys to call and tell me. Yeah, will I be offended? Sure. But I want to know what I'm doing wrong and what we can do better to help you guys out. Any questions? None? Okay. Well, again, I have, I don't have to get out of here right now. I'm going to stick around for a little while, but I will leave the Cradlepoint and phone and Vigilant portal with Vanna White here. If you guys have any questions where you're getting lunch and you want to look at the portal or questions on the Cradlepoint or whatnot, just flag us down and let us know. So appreciate you guys coming out again.